Alright, let's talk about fan service. A fan service question. Do I like fan service? How do I feel about it? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Now, fan service is kind of an umbrella term. It can basically be referring to anything that is done in a story or a medium in order to please the fans. But for the majority, people usually define fan service as being sexual innuendos put into the story. And anime is quite famous for being quite sexual. Now, this can go from moderate to very hyper fan servicey. Most of the time, it's done so that, females and males will look very sexually attractive, or they'll have some outfit that really shows off their attractiveness. So when you're reading or watching, it's beautiful eye candy. Sometimes there will even be scenes dedicated to kind of teasing, looking at more of this person's body. Teasing the fans like, ooh, you want to see even more eye candy? And that is why you'll have these shower scenes where you're just seeing all kinds of different angles, but you don't actually see the goodies. You'll have these scenes where guys are about to fight or guys are about to do something absolutely crazy and they start taking off their shirts and girls are in the audience like, ooh! But it only gets weirder from there. You also have situations, such as in anime, where you'll have specific fetishes in the medium. This can go from fetishes about feet, for where you're seeing the female foot just in the screen all the time. Or sometimes you'll see the lollies. Of course, everyone knows the whole tentacle thing, right? And the fetishes in anime can be a little uncomfortable if you're not for that fetish. So sometimes the fetish thing can be really, really bad and also really awkward. But even more awkward when you start putting a lot of it in the show and a lot of it in the whatever you're reading. You don't want your fan service to be on hyper levels to the point where you're watching an anime and every single time your mom walks in, all of a sudden there's the main characters just making these sex noises while bouncing up and down.
This is not what it looks like.
Sometimes that can be a bad thing. Now, if you're not attracted to that, it's going to be very awkward for you having to watch that scene. If you have friends over, it's going to be very awkward for you to watch that scene. If you are attracted to that scene, it's still going to be kind of awkward because you're not watching porn. You're watching a show. You're trying to follow a story. And you don't want to be constantly hard while trying to follow that story. To be blunt, if you want to watch a show, the main point of focus should be that show. If you want to watch something else, then you know what websites to visit. I'm all for the eye candy. I think eye candy is always nice because when you're looking at something that has to be very visual, or if you're imagining something, you want to imagine nice things, you want to see nice things. And most of the time, it's never too preposterous to make you immediately incite those feelings. It's just pleasing. It's just like mild endorphins to see it, but you're not actually going to get hard from it type thing. One of the things I like to see fan service translate into is jokes, because I think that's actually a good way to show kind of borderline over-the-top fan service, and rather taking it to a more comical route so that people can still enjoy the show without their minds wandering somewhere else. I remember there was this older high school anime I used to watch called Baka to Test, and that was all about the jokey fan service, and I thought it was funny. Even I can enjoy dirty jokes from time to time. I think we all enjoy those type of jokes from time to time, and we all know that we don't really have to take those jokes too seriously. So I think that helps deal with the fan service. Because like you can take it as a joke, like it's intended to, or you can take it the other way if you can't find those websites. And I know that people have a bunch of different varying opinions on fan service and how they feel about the sexual nature of it. And I know a lot of the controversy of fan service, it usually doesn't have to do with the over-the-top fan service. It more so has to do with like the gender of who's being fan serviced. Because you know how feminism can be, they're a little bit touchy. And I think I talked about that a little bit more in the video I made, Sexuality and Entertainment, I think it was called. To summarize that video, there's nothing wrong with drawing a woman sexy. There's nothing wrong with over-exaggerating female features. But I would be so daring to say that usually fan service is pretty equal on gender. And I know some people might disagree with that, but for the most part, I've seen female-esque fetishes in anime too. I've seen almost every single fetishes being fan serviced in anime. But hey, I know that people are always asking me the fan service question. Those are just a few of my own little opinions on the whole fan service thing. To summarize, for the most part, I'm okay with fan service. Sometimes it can annoy me if it's, you know, fan service that's not directed towards me, obviously, and fan service that is trying to seduce me. I don't want to be seduced while watching an anime unless I'm purposely watching porn. I choose when and where I get seduced. Thank you very much. I don't have any problem with fan service being put in like dirty jokes or stuff like that. I don't have any problem with characters being drawn attractive or, you know, sexually attractive. I think that's fine. It's the fetishes and over-the-top scenes where it's, you know, the sex noises and the feet. But hey, I'm sure that you've probably gotten asked this question once or twice. How do you feel about fan service? What kinds of fan service do you enjoy and what kinds of fan service annoy the shit out of you? Feel free to comment below your own thoughts and opinions. That's what the comments section is for, and that's why the comments section sucks. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to, as usual, like the video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'm going to be making more videos, so you'll be excited to see what else I talk about in the future. Of course, if you'd like to support me, I do have a Patreon. But hey, I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Program restart. Shutting down all systems.